from? Just drop. Okay, there we go. So you
Yeah,
guys back
so
with
for
another.
for you guys that are new, what we're gonna do, we're just gonna run through all of our analysis for the week. Nick's gonna get started. We're mainly just focusing on the higher time frames. So this is all just swing trading ideas for you guys for the week. We post them pretty much every single week, just in the Telegram and the Discord. So yeah, Nick's gonna get started. It'll be recorded, posted on YouTube afterwards. And if you guys have any questions, just hit up the chat in the meantime.
Yeah, awesome. So let's kick it off, guys. So I'm going to cover quite a few pairs for you, but we're going to start off first with DXY, which is not actually a tradable pair. This is just showing us the dollar strength. So DXY is the US dollar index, and it's good to be aware of what the dollar is doing because it makes up for a lot of trade, 80% of all trade, right? A lot of the movement is coming from the dollar. So it's good to understand what the trend is at the very least, and then mark it up, analyze it like any other pair, and then use that information across a lot of the other majors, because again, they're greatly influenced if the dollar is doing something. Okay, so I'm going to take you through pretty much my method here. So I'm going to jump to the daily time frame. All we're getting from this time frame is the overall trend. Then I'm going to go to the 4-hour and go over two scenarios, two likely scenarios. And we'll elaborate a little bit more on that when we get down to that time frame. So we're here on the daily. You know, what are the characteristics of a bullish trend? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, breaks of resistance. You know, we're seeing that throughout all price action here, right? And this goes all the way back to November, October, just what we have in view here. And we've been moving up. And recently we could see that we broke a key level where we've seen resistance before, 97.25, right? We broke that and we've been, you know, gapping up, rallying towards higher resistance levels like this one up here at 99.25. So a lot has been happening with the dollar. I mean, we all know why. There's, you know, obviously a huge influence from economic events. A lot of things are going on, and you know, the dollar is considered the reserve currency. It's a safe haven, the safe haven currency. So when there's a lot of uncertainty elsewhere in other, you know, fiat currencies or whatever, you know, a lot of interest comes towards the dollar, and you'll see that, you know, rally at certain times. So that's pretty much, you know, my whole theory for what we've been, you know, seeing this, you know, crazy volume from. You know, and it's probably not going to slow down. I mean, maybe we'll get structure, but we're going to talk about that a little bit more on the 4-hour. Overall, we're bullish, so we have that information. So let's get a closer look here, see what price action has been doing more recently. Square this up, bring this down. Okay, so we've been moving higher also here. We ran into, or we rallied into resistance here at 97.25. We consolidated a little bit, and then we popped above, retested, and then continued. So now we're a bit overextended, right? We're at the high here. This thing is, it's up there, right? This has moved quite a bit. You know, ideally, we want to see some higher lows, you know, closer to 97.25. That would be perfect. That's normal structure. But given the market conditions, this is probably going to keep rallying into, you know, 99.25 at least before we see any sort of reaction. But even then, if it, you know, if it breaks above, we're looking for structure above still. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of unknown, you know, what the potential is for the dollar with everything going on, but you know, we know what we would like to see, and we're just going to follow the market and see what happens. But we're definitely still very much bullish here on the dollar. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. You know, never really traded conditions like this before either. I don't think. You know, I've only been trading 8 years. You know, never really had to trade a war or, you know, a global conflict of any kind. So it's interesting. You learn a lot.
This guy's first
But
war.
yeah, first war, guys. You know, we're going through it together. Like I've traded 2 elections, you know, but not a war. That's a first. So let's jump over to AU. It's going to be our first tradable pair. And again, we're just grabbing the trend from the daily time frame. So we could see where we've been first. It's probably the easiest way to find what's going on now. Just follow price action, right? It was bearish, very bearish. We fell off pretty hard here. This is a huge bearish leg. We started getting some lower highs here. This was the pullback in between this range. Right? It gave us a lower high for this bit of structure, continued lower, back down towards the monthly at 0.7. And then from this point, price action started going bullish. You know, we saw a nice bullish channel here, and then our eyes were at 0.27. This was the key zone. We finally broke that, and then we've been bullish since. This thing has been rallying since this break and retest of 0.72. So we are newly bullish without structure on this time frame. So let's go to the 4-hour, see if we can make more sense of this, because you're going to look a little more clear on this time frame, a little more relevant price action to now, right? This goes all the way back to February to now. We were very bullish. And then here's that 0.72 area. where price action kind of struggled. We consolidated quite a bit. We also broke the level, came back through it, kind of danced around, saw a crazy gap, and then it took off. So that was where conviction finally took in this set here, this nice variation. And then it failed to give us structure. I mean, it pushed up, gave us a bit of a flag. I was a little skeptical because we were right at another resistance level. I really wanted to see it come back, kind of fill this channel a little more. I just felt there was healthier price action, but obviously this was influenced. So it took off, right? We actually broke 0.73, retested it just off a wick and then shot up towards 0.74, which is where we are now. So I'm currently looking for reactions at this level. This is what we would like to see ideally is, a higher low closer to 0.73. That'd be perfect structure. We may not get that. We may get a higher low above 0.74. So this may be more appropriate, but really we're just waiting for reactions at this level. This is the key zone. We're not going to, jump the gun or anything. We're going to wait and see how price action plays out. If it does break above, we'll then look for structure. We'll see how dramatic price action is this week. Okay, if we are to consider this more bearish on AU, I want to see a break of 0.73, nice lower high below. You just need to see we need to see a lot. This needs to fall quite a bit for us to even entertain the idea of shorting this, below 0.73. Okay, so interesting stuff. A lot of movement, guys. The volume makes it tough, but that's what happens. I mean, if you caught this last week, you were riding all this volume. You had some serious gains last week, and now, the following week will be a little slower normally, but we'll see. So that's AU. Let's jump over to AJ. AJ is actually looking pretty nice, closer to some sort of setup, but we'll get to that 4-hour analysis in a second. Let's go to the daily here first, and we're looking bullish here as well. Okay, so the key zone was the weekly 83.25. We were bearish, right? We had a huge drop off here. Price action came back up to this level. The weekly again gave us a nice lower high, moved lower. And then we came back up for a third time, started consolidating. So this is where, you start thinking that this level could break when you see a long period of consolidation at a key level. So it just means there's a lack of reactions. And we're also seeing higher lows up to that level. So there were some hints that it was going to break. But after it did, it really was a, pretty small opportunity. But we'll get to that. So overall, we're bullish, looking for structure, going forward. So let's see what the 4-hour says. And here was that ranging at the weekly that I was just talking about. So this was a good sign that this was going to, break bullishly, break this weekly level. Because all this consolidation, right? We had a fake out here, it attempted break there, and then finally here, we just got above the weekly, consolidated, and then conviction stepped in, started taking off. Very small window of opportunity to enter on AJ there. So currently we're at 85. Massive level, another key level. And from here, ideally we want to see a pullback. We want to see structure, normal conditions, want to see a higher low. And then we could play that up towards 85 again, and then, bet on the break or rejection, whatever we'll reanalyze at that point. So that's the most likely scenario. That's where the highest probability trade is going to be. But if this continues bullish, which it very much looks like it will, we're going to look for a complete break of 85. So it may even be a little bit higher, and then a higher low above. So essentially structure above 85 resistance. Okay, but I mean, this volume has been pretty nuts. So we have to wait a little bit longer on this one, but I'm pretty confident that we'll see some sort of setup on AJ this next week. Okay, so that's AJ. Let's go over to UJ. UJ is looking like a mess. I'm going to be honest before we even get started. It's a mess on the 4-hour. So let's just go to the daily first. That's all we really need. And for the overall trend. And we've been bullish, right? Bullish, but not strongly bullish. Up until, price action here, we were very much bullish on the higher time frames. Now we're looking a little choppy, right? Some tight consolidation there between 115.7 and then 115 support. So we're going to get a closer look at that. We are technically bullish, but we could already tell on the 4-hour that we are strongly ranging here, which is just not good. Let me just zoom out a little bit. And then we're going to, all right, let's get a closer look at this, because we have to try and understand what the potential moves are from this point, right? Based on what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of ranging. Again, 115.7 as resistance. Look at all that rejection, huge volume rejection off there, here, even back here. And then 115 is strong support. Lots of rejection, a lot of attempted breaks and fake outs. So this is a fake out because we failed to get a lower high. This is a fake out as well, failed to get a lower high. So this has been pretty much a mess. This is a fake out as well up to the upside, right? Failed to get a higher low. So it's very, very messy. And the most likely thing here is that we're going to continue ranging. We're going to see some bullish volume come off 115 early in the week, which it kind of did already, gapped up. We're probably going to see this start to push back up towards 115.7. So I don't personally like trading ranges, but for those of you that do, that's some good information there. It's probably going to push up. But if it doesn't, I want to see it get below 115 very clearly, break the range below, similar to this, but actually give us a lower high, meaning it pulls back. We see rejection off, 115 as new resistance, confirms a lower high, and then we could enter on some bearish setups, right? Bearish variation, evening star, something that confirms that, okay, we have new structure now, and now we can head lower. So this would be a great trade. We could actually mark this up if it were to go short anyway, and actually break the range. Those are some of my favorite trades, but they actually have to play out, and you have to be very patient with them because you have to catch the real break. Otherwise, you're just catching fake outs, and this could continue to range for a while. So you have to be sure that you're getting in on a real break. So this would be good. Well over 2-to-1. You guys can move that around to be a little more comfortable. You could have a max stop loss of 30 for 60 if you're doing it that way. So very, very comfortable trade on that if it does play out in a bearish way. But we'll see. UJ's low on the list again for me. So we'll see. So let's move over to EJ. Daily time for this thing's already dumping. Unbelievable. Same thing happened last week as I did analysis, market open, and the thing just started moving. Like it had already completed. Like it's nuts. So what's the overall trend here on EJ? Bearish, right? We've been pretty bearish for a while. There was some ranging for a period if we just zoom out a little bit, right? Overall, we're bearish. There was some ranging here, but now we're clearly below, major support levels. This monthly 126.5. There was a nice bearish channel there that we were kind of expecting price action to hit this monthly, not break it entirely. This thing just cut right through this level. So we're bearish. We're looking for structure now. Let's see what the 4-hour has for us. Okay, here's that bearish channel I was talking about. And this was an analysis last week, right? We were at this point. I was expecting a lower high. Okay, it did that, or this too, actually. So it gave us 2 sets of lower highs. And then we were expecting 126.5 as a target. So like I said, we broke that level. Now we're looking for new structure. Ideally, that would be a nice lower high below 126.5, pretty close to it. And then you can get a nice short position down towards 124. That'd be our target. 215 pips. So that means our max could be, just about 107, 105-ish. About 107. So, I mean, if it does play out this way, that would be ideal. Right now, it looks like it's just going to keep falling. We may hit 124 and then come back for the lower high. We'll see. That's obviously quite a ways away from happening. We're still here on the 4-hour. So we'll see. I mean, if we were to consider this bullish, if we want to go and consider that idea, we need to see a complete break of the monthly 126.5, higher low above, and then conviction, bullish conviction. That would give us confidence on even, taking any long positions on EJ, because this is so clearly bearish. That's a crazy amount of volume. So, I mean, we'll see on this one. I was really hoping this would pull back earlier rather than just start Sunday off with immense volume. Yeah, well, crazy week, big volume week already, we could see. So let's move over to gold. Gold is similar story, crazy volume. Here on the daily, we're bullish. We are crazy bullish here. We had a nice healthy channel down here. The thing turned super bullish, broke above 1870. I actually have this marked twice. Broke 1870, consolidated for a second, huge whipsaw candle there. And then we broke 1930, quick retest. And now we're almost at 2K again, which is crazy to think. We're almost at 2000 again. So this is pretty nuts. We're bullish on gold. Crazy bullish. So let's go to the 4-hour, get a closer look at this. See if we can find a trade.
At 2000. That's crazy.
Yeah, right. We haven't seen this level in a long time.
Wow.
So we're clearly bullish. Can we ride this trend? Can we get in on this? What does a scenario have to look like for us to, get in on one of those high probability trades? In my opinion, it would be a nice higher low, close to 1930. That's healthy structure, in my opinion, even with this type of volume. If it came back with the same type of, enthusiasm, boom, hit the level, gave us the higher low, and then continued upward again, with the same type of volume, we could enter on that. Probably get a really good trade, targeting 2000. In a perfect world, that's what we'd like to see. Based on what we're seeing right now, just look at this volume. Like, these candles are actually increasing in size. Like, the volume is not slowing down. So it's very likely that we're going to just smack 2000 and then see some reactions. Maybe we'll push even higher than that and then come back. And then we'd be interested in looking for structure then. Kind of crazy times here on gold. But yeah, big volume. If you guys are in on this trade, I mean, there was a little opportunity there. If you're in on this, good for you. 2000 is a target, definitely. But yeah, this is massive. It's a nice 700 pip trade from 1930 to 2000. Nice. So yeah, pretty good for gold. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. We could do a quick recap. Covered DXY, which is currently strapped to a rocket. This thing is going to the moon. Covered AU, AJ, UJ, EJ, and gold. All right, so yeah, just another analysis. Thanks, guys.
Nice. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. So guys, if you have any questions about that, just hit in the chat. We just went over a lot. Again, it's going to be posted on YouTube after if you want to watch the replay. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to look at the dollar again. And like Nick's been saying to me, the dollar's been super bullish last couple of weeks. Specifically last week, we had this huge move up, about a 2% move to the upside. So what exactly are we looking for at this point? Whenever we have this huge move to the upside here, we're simply just looking for look left, and we're looking for where is the previous area where we had a lot of resistance. And as we zoom out, we can kind of mark down this area. The reason I'm marking down this right here is we have a ton of resistance, and then we also have some support in this area. And then clearly we have a lot of resistance there as well. So it's up at the 100 mark. So that's obviously, a psychological level as well. So I can imagine hitting 100 is probably going to cause some sort of reversal, but just keep in mind, look at last time when we got close to this area in March 2020. Guess that was whole COVID thing. We had market move up, move down. And it's also worth noting that, so is that when COVID started, March 2020? I don't even remember.
I think it was January, February, March, and then March was really the big.
Yeah, March is like pretty much when everything shut down. And look, we're kind of recovering now to those levels that we were previously at, which is kind of interesting. So the dollar is on the recovery trail right now. And look how it bottomed out, like right around the same area as well. So look for, let's zoom out a little bit. Yeah, this is crazy. So look for some resistance at 100. Whether it spikes above like it had done previously, definitely has a chance to do so as well. But just keep 100 in mind. What was that? I thought you said something. So yeah, just keep 100 in mind. Obviously, super bullish at the moment. Oh no, we got
oh Lord. Okay, but yeah, I mean, 100's a great level, huge psychological level. We've seen tons of reactions there before, so that's. I mean, and we could see that this week, the way volume's going. I mean, it's pretty nuts. This dollar is, doing something crazy. All right, cool.
Yeah, I cleared my cookies before, and it logged me out of freaking.
Oh yeah, it erases all the saved info.
It sucks. I shouldn't have did that. All right, so that's the dollar. In keeping in mind that the dollar is very bullish right now, heading over to GJ. Oh, you know what? Signed into the wrong account.
No worries.
Give me 1 second, guys.
As a professional trader, guys, you have to have multiple trading accounts. Trading view.
Multiple trading view accounts. I don't even.
Yeah, you actually, if you have multiple computers, you actually do, because it disconnects you and it's a pain in the ass. That's why sometimes you guys will see that from me. It says you've been disconnected. It's because my other computer's waking up.
I've got a couple accounts. Let me see which one it is. I've got that one. And then
Yeah, the Google profile doesn't make it any easier.
I'm wondering. I think I was logged in to the right account. If it's,
Oh, well, you have different layouts saved potentially.
yeah, that's probably what it is. Let's see. Let's see if it's
There's a lot of new faces in here.
FX League.
And yeah, again, guys, if you have any questions, drop it in chat. Let
Oh,
us know. EA has been overselling. Check NU. I'm pretty sure Angela's going to cover NU.
what NU? Yeah, I'll cover NU. Looks like I might have lost it.
No,
Yeah, I don't know where it is. I'm gonna try to sign into one other account that it
I
might
don't
be.
think it permanently deletes. It's just a pain. It might be a pain to find.
This. Yeah, it could be on.
Because you have auto save on too.
We got two-factor on everything.
Yeah. Crypto bottom. I don't know. We've been my account's kind of been dancing between some levels.
Isn't crypto kind of going down right now?
Yeah, it's been fluctuating between 10% for me, up and down the last. Oh no, we're down a little bit more today. Right now, actually.
Yeah, no, it's on the it's moving.
Slipping off. We're back below 40 on BTC. It's a little sketchy.
That's wild. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at BTC. We're just gonna have to redo it because for some reason my analysis just didn't get saved, and I like flipped through each of the things that I have.
Yeah. It might be
Let's see.
Google profile. Not sure though.
Yeah, I just went through all three of my profiles.
Yeah, we gotta do some troubleshooting after.
Load. Yeah, whatever.
That's always I've lost my
I'm just
stuff
gonna
before
pick it up,
too.
guys. I'll just do the analysis over again. Realistically, let's just start. Or actually, here it is. We made it.
Nice.
We fucking made it.
The Forex gods.
Let's see.
Oh my
Oh
lord.
yeah, we got it. All right, so
All right, nice.
let's start off with. Let me see what. Hold on, let me see what chart this is. Forex League analysis. All right, so we're gonna start with GJ. So GJ on the weekly time frame. Let's just kind of zoom out a little bit. I've got some levels on here. I've got my weekly level of resistance, which is from. We've got this area acting as resistance, support. We've got this area of support and resistance. We have resistance right there. This hasn't changed. Like for those that have been on the call, this level's been the same for past several weeks because we've just been in this consolidation area. So if we just look at how we rejected this area, we actually took shorts. For those on the Sunday market blitz saw these shorts being taken. And then last week followed it up with another huge short opportunity. We didn't quite, I think for this one, I had a sell limit like right here is about 10 pips away. For the sake of the call, I was just last week anticipating a retest of this previous support level. And that's where I ideally wanted to short it, but didn't come all the way up to that area. But like this thing moved significantly, moved about 2%, 300 pips. And then right now we're kind of looking for the same thing. We're just looking for a retest back up in this area. We already have a spinning top candle down here. So we don't want to do anything right now because we're not at a support level. We're not at a resistance level. We're just at a low. So GJ is very simple. There's no trade at the moment. We literally just need a swing back up into this area. I'm actually going to adjust this just a little bit. We need a swing back up. What is this? Back up into this previous support area. And then we're going to take a short end. Ideally, say we did get a retest in this area, and then we're targeting this support level all the way down here. Ideally, we would have a 2-to-1 risk reward trade in this scenario if we did hit up here. And this is a swing trade, guys. Obviously, you could bring down the stop loss quite a bit. All depends how price reacts in this area, but that's just the most conservative trade for GJ would be a 2-to-1 risk reward. So GJ, nothing doing as of now. Let's go over to NU. Let's keep in mind that the dollar is super bullish, but it's probably going to have some sort of pullback. So coming up to the weekly time frame, this one has been pretty annoying because, or should I say, it has just been retracing on us the past several weeks. As we can see, overall, this is in a downtrend. The reason I say that is because we had this upward movement right here, and then price started to form these lower high points. Got a little bit choppy in this area, but then we broke support, pushed down, and then this is clearly a downtrend moving to the downside. Now, we were anticipating some resistance here and a reversal, but obviously with the macroeconomic events going on, with all the news, the fundamentals, a lot of different things, this thing ended up reversing. So we can see we've got some interesting news events coming up. Let's get down to a lower time frame. But basically, like, I was looking to short this, but this kind of now is in a completely different position. We just moved up 190 pips pretty unexpectedly to me. And then now we're just sitting in this 6,900 area, which is still a resistance area, but we did break now this previous resistance right here. We need to see some rejection. So let's come down to the 4 hour. 4 hour is just really bullish, right? 4 hours has been bullish, making higher highs right here, higher low, higher high, higher low. And now we just made a new high, and look how strong we are right now with this bullish trend. So the only way I'm going to be taking a trade on this is if one of two things really happens here. This is that previous high right there. Obviously, I have this drawn out. So either, now that we're up here, it would need to be something like this. Either we have a consolidation. So either price consolidates up here, boom, 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 break support, retest, go short, or, right, price comes down here and does one of these and has a pullback, finds support, you know, at one of the fib levels, at ideally this previous level of resistance, now acting as support, and then pushes back to the upside. So those are the two scenarios on NZD USD. Obviously, a lot of movement last week. So it's pretty tough right now to actually take a trade on this. So we just got to wait because there will be other pairs to potentially trade. Let's come over to GU next. And just because like these trades right now are not in the most ideal positions, doesn't mean like this could move overnight, 60 pips, 120 pips, whatever. And then all of a sudden we're in business, right? Like look at this swing back up. This is 220 pips swing up. We had another one here, 150 pips swing up. So definitely a lot of opportunity here if this thing does come back into our resistance level. So you just got to be patient, guys. It's the name of the game here. Sometimes on the calls, we're in better positions to like take entries right now. But right now there was a lot of movement on this. So let's go over to GU. It's going to be fairly similar to GJ. Let's just look overall on the weekly. Look at the weekly time frame. The structure is pretty perfect here. We had this low, lower high, new low, boom, 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 right here. So we're just in a great steady downtrend. We don't even need to look left at this point. We're in a great downtrend. I did draw this resistance level right here. This is just based on all of these levels: support, resistance, boom, 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 resistance, support. So this is definitely a significant level for me. Now, I would never take a short now. I would want to see a reversal before actually getting on a short opportunity. I mean, look at every previous time here. We had these huge bullish candles before the ultimate move. And this move I'm talking about is 400 pips. This one right here, 300. This one's massive. This one's 500, right? So these are just huge swing trades, 300. So we got to be super patient on this and try to actually take advantage of this move. So 4 hour time frame, bearish all the way, which looks great. Forming that low, another lower low, lower high. And then this is where we're currently at. So this is exactly what we are waiting for right now. And sometimes, you know, I'll draw this out. I'll hide the candles if you really need to. Let's get this. And then you could just see, you know, very simply, we're in a downtrend. We've got lower lows, lower highs. These are definitely the areas we want to enter on. Boom, 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 these three little levels. And so now we're just looking for where is that next lower high. And that is definitely going to be a retest of the support level. And at that point, we're going to want to take shorts, and we have a lot of room to push down. So in the event that we get to this level, we have a 200 pip target, and then we have a lot of room to move our stop loss, right? We could put our stop loss all the way up here. That would be a 2-to-1, or we can squeeze it, put it over this resistance level. That's 3-to-1, or depending how confident we are, or how many times we want to potentially enter this and get stopped out before we actually hit like the home run trade, we could bring it all the way down. You could even get this down to like an 8-to-1 risk reward trade if you're really squeezing it right there. So definitely going to be a good opportunity. We just, again, have to be a little bit patient going into the week before the open, because it's already opened lower, right? This already opened and went down 40 pips already. Before that, I mean, going into the week, we had this doji. Those are both reversal candles. So I was expecting this to come back. I still think it's going to come back though. So going back to DXY, remember let's move up here. Let's take all this off. Boom. So going back to DXY, and again, just like zooming out and adjusting this level here. Let's put it where we had put it before, which was up in this zone. Is DXY, we're looking for price to move up, maybe a little bit right here and then reject, or we have the pullback right from where we're at. We have a lot of room to push down before actually getting back up into that level. So DXY looking one of two ways right now, just super bullish. We are looking for some more potentially upside movement. And with that being said, it would make a lot of sense that NU starts to reverse if DXY starts to push up, right? Starts to consolidate, starts to find some resistance. It would make a lot of sense that GU, if DXY continued to push up, had a little bit more move down before we had this pullback. Then let's look at UCAD. Let's look at UCAD next. So this one, I definitely have a trade lined up. And this is just an example of like, we're at a point of structure where we should actually be entering. So this is definitely a trade to consider like at the moment. And coming up to the weekly time frame, we can kind of just map this out. So weekly time frame, we have been consolidating within these two levels for quite some time now. So looking at this upper level, this is about 1.29, 1.3, or 1.295. This lower level is 1.258, 1.257. So this lower level is our area of support. This is our area of resistance. And then I have this level of resistance marked on the lower time frame here. Let's just look at price action. Let's delete some of this. And let's just look at price action. So last several weeks, we had doji, more of a spinning top, had kind of like an inverted hammer candle, which was a mess. And then we had a spinning top. So these are all reversal candles. So this is telling me that price is going to go down, right? This is telling me buyer stepped in. Now we just hit this wall of resistance. There's really no reason that this is going to push higher. It's telling me that we're most likely going to break down and head to the downside. And coming down now to the lower time frame, let's just bring all this back on. So coming down now to the lower time frame, we're just kind of looking at structure, mapping this out. Let's take off the candlesticks. So according to how we look at structure, this is where we are currently at. So let me see this thing, just move this over a little bit. So this is where we're currently at right here. And this is a lower high. This would have been a great trade. That would have been a great trade. This is the same area as this and this, right? So this is a potential area to take a sell. This would be a great area to enter in. Coming back onto the chart, we have, let's just zoom out. We have this huge wall of resistance, right? Over and over again, 4 resistance levels. And then now we just had another rejection of this area. So we already have multiple signals here. We are at a lower high. We had a bearish engulfing. We're at resistance, right? We're within our levels here, consolidation zone. So this is a trade that I'm interested in taking. You can have stops as wide as 2 to 1. You can have stops as close as 3 to 1. Right here, it all depends what you want to do. I'm personally going to leave them at about 2.5. Right here, this I think gives us the most amount of room where it could retrace, but we're still in the trade, and then it goes to the downside. So this is kind of my trade of the week here. We'll see how UCAD plays out. See, we've got some chats in here. So yeah, that's how UCAD, we're looking to see how it plays out. Again, DXY, remember, we're looking for it to really go to the downside. And if DXY goes to the downside, DXY will fall perfectly exactly where we want it to be. So just keep that in mind. Let's look at NAS 100. I have not actually traded this pair much. I'm starting to analyze it more and more over the last like 2 weeks, and definitely want to get more involved with it. I think the analysis is going to be a little rough in the beginning, but once I kind of analyze it for several weeks, I'll probably get a better idea as to what time frames I should actually be taking trades on this. So it's just kind of starting out, but I want to bring this in because so many people are trading it. And just hopping up to the weekly time frame, clearly we can see we were in this huge uptrend, right here, moving to the upside, making these higher highs and higher lows. And then ultimately what happened was we had this break right here, and we're still yet to actually make our first lower high. So we're still yet to really declare that we're fully in like downtrend structure. I mean, obviously we've broken support. We've broken support right here. Boom. So we have a break of support. So if we just come down and just take all this off, boom. Whenever we have a break of support, guys, exactly what we teach in the course, we're looking for the first lower high. That's ultimately where we're trying to take entries on this. As we can see, if we bring the candlesticks back on, this has not actually made a lower high. We are just continuing to go lower and lower at this point. If anything, this would have been a great area to actually enter in, because this is when the break of support happened. Then we had a retest, rejection, engulfing, right? And then huge move to the downside. So this would have been a great area to take entries in. We're not there right now. So we want to consider where we're at and look at this candle. I mean, this is just a huge fucking rejection candle to the downside. We like grabbed right at the same level as these previous wicks, and then closed bullish. And then last week we had this doji. So I'm expecting there to be like some sort of reversal before more downside movement. Coming to the daily, we can clearly see daily's in a downtrend. Every pair, guys, structure is king. So we've got this downtrend structure right here. Then look at this, break, retest, boom. So I'm looking for something similar to that. That's really what I want to get, is some sort of break and retest. I think at this point, it's safe to say NAS 100 is going to keep dumping to the downside, even if it does end up getting some sort of pullback. Let's come down to the 1 hour and kind of look at this a little bit more closely. The only area I would consider to actually take entries on this would be in this area. And then I would just target this support level, which is all the way down here. Let's just double check what the risk reward is. 2.56. Reason I would take this trade, pretty much just like keeping it simple. We've got this as a previous support level. We just obviously broke into a downtrend, and this would also be a lower high. I'm not going to bring the fibs on right now because we're yet to actually reverse. But if it did reverse right now, that would be 38.2 as well. But that's not relevant at the moment. We still have to wait to bring the fibs on. Still have to wait for this to actually start to pull back. But NAS 100, this is my idea for this one, has to come back. So it looks like the time frames I'm seeing structure the most clearly are the let's come up here. We were on the weekly, and then we hit the daily, and then we came all the way down. See, the daily structure is really clean. You can clearly tell it's in downtrend, clearly tell lower highs, not like too many candles. Like 4 hour gets kind of crazy, right? It's just like overwhelming. Daily time frames, like, okay, I can clearly see what's going on. And then I like to go from the daily right to the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, we can just clearly see when we're focusing on, where we're currently at. Nice break, we'll see if there's a retest, and then that would be the trade. So that's the Nas 100 idea. If you guys have any other ideas, hit the chat. If you guys trade Nas 100, again, I'm just getting started with it. So we'll see how it goes. And then BTC, you pretty much say as expected. I mean, this thing fucking came up to this 4,400 level. And a lot of people were like, oh, it's going to go on a bull run. Da, da, da. I mean, guys, this thing is in a downtrend, right? This thing's in a downtrend. It's been respecting lower highs, over and over again, literally since last year. So almost 3 months now, it's been in a downtrend, maybe even more. I mean, yeah, about 3.5 months. It's been in a downtrend. So definitely crypto bear market right now. And for this thing to go bullish, I mean, let's just zoom out and look at some previous bullish, price action here. Look at, like, for example, this level. So we had gone on this little bear run. We were in a downtrend very clearly. And then we had a break of resistance right here, followed by the retest to the upside. Here, we did not break any resistance. We respected the resistance. I really think that we're going to the downside. I don't know. What do you think, Nick? Where do you think we're going?
I mean, yeah, it definitely looks like it, right?
Oh,
I mean, 40,000 is the key level, right? We've failed to really get any lower highs below that. And then Angelo has pretty much the perfect level marked off close to 45,000. So those are really the two levels that I'm looking at to see structure either above 45,000 or below. If we get below, that's scary for anybody who's holding, because this could dump immediately to 30. And then we're looking for the same thing at 30. Is it going to break 30? Is it going to react off 30? If it continues to form structure below support levels, this thing's going to dump a bunch, quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean 30 is 30 is looking like pretty wild,
Yeah.
because obviously, like, from 30 it goes all the way to 12.
Yeah, that's the floor. Like, it falls off below 30.
Maybe a little higher, like 20 would definitely be a level.
Yeah. That'd be the first target. Right.
So
20
yeah, I
and
mean, we'll see, guys. Definitely some nice rejection here on BTC. I wouldn't exactly say this is the floor, but I'm still sticking to my little theory here. I mean, the theory that I had previously was if we had a 10% candle close on the weekly to enter. So I mean, technically, we should have already entered based on this, right? And then we're just targeting the fucking moon at this point.
I took that trade, Angelo. What the hell?
Yeah, I bet. I mean, you're literally targeting at this point. This would be the target, literally like 100,
100, yeah.
100, and then you've got, like, this
I
is,
mean, that's the crazy thing, is the upside potential is greater than the downside, guys. Like, it just depends on when it's going to come. Like, it will. It's definitely inevitable that we'll see 100K BTC, but it could dump quite a bit before that. That's kind of the whole catch with crypto right now.
yeah. So Sam Vo, I've been kind of saying that my little theory is that every time there's a 10% weekly close, it goes on a bull run. So normally, like, I'm also kind of lining it up with it being like a bullish signal. But you can see here, this is 10, this is 20%. You can see right here, this one's 10. This one down here is also 10. It's 11. Then you have this over here. This is about 10. And then we could see this one was just under 10. And then we just had this. I mean, this is like a very simple, stupid strategy, but like kind of works a little bit. So I'm like about to get in on BTC. I don't like how this previous candle just formed on the weekly. It did close bullish, and we do have this previous candle, which obviously wicked out. So, I mean, this would realistically be the time to get in. Like, if you're relatively bullish on BTC, we did have a little bit of this higher low. We had that 10% candle close. And I mean, not trying to read too much into all the noise going on. I think it'd be like the perfect story right now, or in the next coming months. You've got like the end of COVID, but then COVID's apparently coming back, and then you've got now this war, and then all of a sudden BTC just hits 100K.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Like what would at that point, I mean, people don't even know what reality is. And then we're all really going to be in the metaverse.
Yeah, it's coming. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, there's potential here.
So
For
this
sure.
is the trade. I mean, guys, there's like, I don't want to talk in percentages because I don't know anything, but I would say there's a slim chance that we're going to get below 32, 30. Like
Yeah.
that would really be incredible if that happened.
Yeah, I have a lot of confidence behind that statement as well. I'd be looking to add some more in certain coins around this 32 area. If we're seeing positive reactions.
Mhm.
I think we're pretty well established at this point for BTC being like, the grandfather of crypto. So I think it's unlikely, fundamentally that we'll get below that, but
I mean, even look at it like this, guys. I mean, even if it just reaches all-time highs from this current spot, still two times your money.
that's true. It's
You
true,
know,
just from a risk reward perspective.
still
Yeah.
two times your money. If you got, if you're like, oh, if it hits 26, I'm gonna just cash out. Like that's the risk I'm willing to take on this trade, right? If we hit 26, then I'm out, right? What would that actually be? That would be
So like if you took 1,000, your potential gains 5 to 100K, and all you're risking is 1K on the stop, or 100 for 500.
it's fire.
Yeah, it's a great trade.
It's fire. Yeah. So that's or 100,000, and then five.
To half a mil. Now we're talking.
Yeah, that's what Tori's putting in. He told me.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean,
So
fuck it, dude.
interesting.
I should just put in. I realistically should just put in like a bunch of money in right now.
Just like
Fuck
live.
it. Fuck it. Because if it goes down, I mean, who even really cares?
Yeah, I mean, it's in a good spot for a long scenario, definitely. Like we're at a low. We know we've seen reactions from this area before. Strong likelihood that we'll see upside movement from this point. Like it's not a bad trade whatsoever.
No.
Worth
Not at
the
all.
risk on this one.
And then think of it like, also like think of it like this: if this does hit the stop loss, right? If you put in, let's say you put in $1,000 right now, right? And this thing came down to 25, what you would technically lose like 30% on that. Is that how it would work?
Well, no, you'd lose. You'd stop the trade, so you'd lose whatever you risked.
Well,
So you
say
lose
you
the
just
100.
bought in like at the exchange, you didn't like actually buy in with it.
Oh, then yeah, you'd be down 30% on it. So you'd
Yeah,
be
you'd be
down to
down.
$70,
You'd be down like 30%.
or you'd be down 270. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be down like about 270, $300 on $1,000. And then say with that, you're down $300. It makes it all the way down to, probably won't make it that low, but say it makes it a 20. And then you buy back in, you're like, fuck it, I'm back. Right? You're buying back in at 20. Let's just mark down a level here, because this is definitely a level of support. 20 was definitely a previous like key level right here. Where is this at?
This also, what Angela's doing too, is kind of answering the question why we don't short crypto, because there's more upside potential, way more upside gain potential.
Yeah. I mean, look at it like this. I mean, then you're basically saying, is BTC gonna hit 7K, 8K? I mean, shit. If it hits 9K, I'm gonna just fucking retire at that point. Like, there's no reason for this thing to go that low. Like the market cap's like too high at this point.
Yeah.
So then, if you're $700, this is why it's important to use the stop loss, right? So you cash out at 700, you take the loss, fuck it. Then you buy back in around here, right? And then all of a sudden, you bought in at 20. When it hits 60, you're up 3 times your money. right? If it hits fucking 100, I mean, you're up 5 times your money at that point. And you put in that 700, you'd be at 3,500, which is obviously 3.5 times what the original entry was, which is still fire.
Yeah,
And
that's phenomenal.
yeah, it's great. So that's just why I use a stop loss. If you just were to hold this and then it keeps going down, and then you're like, you're just not going to be able to buy back in at a better risk reward. So definitely want to utilize the stop loss on this one. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's kind of the idea behind this. I mean, think about it with 100 grand. I mean, you'd be down to 70 here, and then you buy back in with 70, and then you'd be at 350.
Yeah. Yeah, that's phenomenal. That's great risk. A lot more like favoring odds in a
Yeah, and then
scenario
this
like
guy said,
this.
then take out a loan on against it on next step. So that's my next step, is to be looking at how to take out the loans on the money while they're being staked, because that's like a whole other fucking thing.
Like, yeah, another layer to it all.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, you're basically taking out. So what's interesting, what I'm actually trying to understand about the whole loan thing is, like, you basically go to the exchange and you're like, okay, I have one Ethereum. Let's just use that for an example, right? And I want to get a loan for USDC. So I'm committing one Ethereum and whatever the value of that Ethereum is at this current time for USDC. And then basically, when the loan is due, you have to then pay, I guess, in one Ethereum back. Right? I'm wondering what the payment is back to it.
Right, like what's the interest charge on it or something.
Not even that. It's more just like, do you pay it back in like the Ethereum price? Do you pay it back in whatever like US dollar price that when the loan is, when you took it out? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's an interesting concept that I gotta
Yeah,
research. But there's a reason to take out the loans this weekend. Yield farming is the plan. Oh yeah, yield farming is the wave. You can pay back in the USD price. The asset can go up, but the loan amount stays the same. Yeah, that's what I thought, which is great, because you can. I don't know if you know about I think it's Euro Finance or something. It's a website you can do loans off of, but basically, so if you take out a loan, you commit one Ethereum and it's priced at 2,700. Maybe when we just do it with like 100 grand, you take out a loan and it's priced at, and you owe or let's just do one Ethereum. So you owe like $3,000 back afterwards, and you go and like use that money and whatever. I mean, you only have to pay back what the original principal is of that. But there's like a whole other layer to it, is if you're staking then in Ethereum, since you have like originally the loan at a different principal, it like hedges you against the volatility when you're doing like yield farming. But I don't know. I have to research it a bit more, guys. But maybe once we figure all that out, we'll put out some more info. I
yeah,
know you're working on
yeah.
the whole
Just
crypto course, right?
yeah, exactly. Just more emphasis on opportunity in this space, guys. There's always, something else that could make you money and things that haven't even come out yet. So a lot of info around crypto.
Oh yeah,
Good
yeah.
stuff.
New things coming, definitely with the course and also with the new updated membership. So we got a new way to get in on lifetime membership. Everyone's got to apply, and we're gonna go through like the applications and reach out to people personally, kind of like shift things around with that a little bit. We've got all the services right now have been being worked on and are definitely in good spots. The rapid signals, the trade copier, obviously just the course in general, and everything like that. So we're shifting things around. I think there's a lot of opportunity inside of the community for people that are interested in getting involved. So look out for that. Tonight it is the last night for the lifetime sale. So that's been going on tonight. It's ending tonight. So all the sales are done tonight. Rapid signals, lifetime, all the sales are over, all the promos. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. So second week, Second week of March, first week we made 7.5% in the signals. Let's see what we do this week.
Yeah, should be good. Excited. But yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend and good luck trading this week. Reach out if you guys need anything on Discord.
Another Sunday market blitz.
Yeah, another one in the books.
That's it. All right, everybody. Enjoy the week. Peace out.
Take care, guys.